of the presidential election, as the federal government deploys armed force to suppress dissent, rounds up and deports undocumented workers, and intimidates the public, it is easy to conclude that fascism is already here. The crossroads where Black revolt and fascism meet is precisely the space where Cedric's main interlocutors find the Black radical tradition. Black Marxism is, in part, about an earlier generation of Black anti-fascists, written at the dawn of a global right-wing, neoliberal order that led one political theorist to call it the era of friendly fascism. In 1983, the same year Black Marxism came out, Cedric published a brilliant essay on fascism that not only exposed U.S. capitalist support for Mussolini, but argued that the Black masses anticipated and resisted the rise of fascism long before it was considered a crisis. Robinson called them premature anti-fascists, who stood in stark opposition to those elites who gave primacy to the interests of the state as an instrument of racial destiny. Nearly 3 decades of movement building, scholarship, and political education explain why so many people can even say the words defund the police, prison abolition, or racial capitalism. We would not be here if not for Critical Resistance, the Labor Community Strategy Center, Project South, Organization for Black Struggle, St. Louis, Power, people organized to win employment rights, Southerners on New Ground, Song, Incite, Women of Color Against Violence, Sista to Sista, the African American Policy Forum, the Black Radical Congress, the Los Angeles Community Action Network, Miami Workers Center, the Praxis Project, Fierce, fabulous, independent, educated radicals for community empowerment, Queers for Economic Justice, the Sylvia Rivera Law Project, SRLP, Reverend William J. Barber's Moral Mondays Movement and New Poor People's Campaign, Cooperation Jackson in Mississippi, the Incarcerated Workers Organizing Committee, the Free Alabama Movement, and Showing Up for Racial Justice, SURJ. We would not be here without Angela Davis's Are Prisons Obsolete and Abolition Democracy, or Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow, or the abolitionist and anti-capitalist writings of Ruth Wilson Gilmore and Mariame Kaba, and others. The murders of Trayvon Martin, Rekia Boyd, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Tamir Rice, John Crawford III, Alton Sterling, Walter Scott, and so many others, spawned a wave of Black radical organizations, notably Black Lives Matter, the Dream Defenders, Black Youth Project 100, We Charge Genocide, BOLD, Black Organizing for Leadership and Dignity, Hands Up United, Lost Voices, Millennial Activists United, Million Hoodies Movement for Justice, Dignity and Power Now, Ella's Daughters, Asata's Daughters, Black Feminist Futures Project, Leaders of a Beautiful Struggle, Let Us Breathe Collective, the Movement for Black Lives, the Majority, and Scholars for Social Justice, among many others. All of these movements and thinkers have, at one time or another, engaged, embraced, or were influenced by Cedric Robinson's Black Marxism. 2 key concepts, racial capitalism and the Black radical tradition, introduced here almost 40 years ago, have become a common part of our shared political language. His ideas have taken hold in activist circles and in the academy since the appearance of the 2000 edition, as well as the publication of Robinson's Black Movements in America and Forgeries of Memory and Meaning, Blacks in the Regimes of Race in American Theater and Film Before World War II. Cedric's untimely passing on June 5, 2016, followed by the reissue of The Terms of Order, Political Science and the Myth of Leadership, and Anthropology of Marxism, and the recent publication of On Racial Capitalism, Black Internationalism, and Cultures of Resistance, edited and with an introduction by H.L.T. Kwan, have inspired a generation to finally recognize Cedric Robinson as one of the most important intellectuals.